a One Piece mega fan, a general nerd, and
What the f*** is One Piece?
What's the crack? And we are back, baby. This is the Three Halves Make a Whole podcast. I am the Will of G. We also have...
I'm Jordan.
I'm the One Piece.
Oh, I hate
You
you
can
guys.
tell it's been a while. You can tell it's been a while. Listen, we're just shaking off the cobwebs. You know, we'll get back to it.
We will the demon fruit.
So it has been... I hate you guys. It has been
Thanks,
2
Will of G.
years since we last uploaded on the podcast, but something new is happening. We are on the YouTubes, baby. You now
Now
get
you
to
can
see
see how
the beautiful
ugly we are.
faces. No,
Oh.
you are beautiful. No, you're beautiful people, and I am so happy that the world can see you.
I was going to say, now you can see how ugly we are, and now that we're definitely three white guys.
Yeah, yes. Woo!
That just adds confirmation.
We are back, the go-to podcast to get three white males to tell you what is good and what is bad.
It's a very unique selling point that we are all white. It's definitely never been done before.
There's no other podcast with three white men who tell you their opinions on what they think of films and TV.
Yeah. Definitely never been done before.
Completely unique.
So the reason we are back is because I have managed to convince the boyos to watch One Piece.
To be fair, we did all agree that it did make sense.
It did.
To come back for this specific thing after the plethora of mentions of One Piece throughout every episode. If you haven't heard them, go back and listen. You'll find them.
Plug.
Yep.
Plug.
Nice little plug that.
Plug.
Continue. Sorry, I interrupted.
You're forgiven. So, but we're not watching the anime, which is, a sacrifice I've had to make.
Oh, God.
We are watching the One Piece live action by Netflix. It's been very, very exciting. It's been a crazy year for One Piece in general, and I'm very much on the One Piece train more than ever. And this is a nice medium for people who've never watched anime before, and someone who's never really watched One Piece before, to really try and get into the medium. I said that, but I know that's a lie, George.
Yes, I have watched the greatest adaptation of One Piece, which did break my heart a little bit. I was expecting, the theme to return. The greatest theme song of One Piece. The 4Kids dub theme tune.
You need to... No. Okay. Time out.
Oh, God, already?
The 4... Don't even mention... I can't even say the damn word.
I want to point out, you did make one true statement. Yeah, you said someone who's not really watched One Piece, and then that being, the One Piece, and then someone who hasn't really watched anime. And I was like, hello, that's me.
But George, yes. You have seen some...
I've seen the greatest adaptation done by the geniuses at 4Kids, like many years ago. I have read some of the manga, but I got bored and didn't finish it.
You better shut your damn mouth.
I have... Well, it's like seeing thousands of chapters and just going, no, I can't, no. I've watched some of the anime, but again, it's like
there's a lot.
There's a lot, and I'd already watched the 4Kids one, so I kind of got more bored. I was like, oh, the 4Kids one, I remember that, so it kind of invaded my enjoyment, because I just couldn't give it up, Luffy. Hey.
I have no idea what he's on about.
I want to just end this podcast right now. I don't even know what I'm doing here.
All right, cool.
Okay.
It's been good. Good meeting you.
So how many episodes did you watch? Did you see the entire of the East Blue saga?
I don't know off the top of my head. I cannot remember, because there are things that when watching this that I kind of went, I think I remember that, and I remembered it wrong. And I was like, so I went back and checked the manga and was like, oh yeah, no, I've remembered it completely wrong. But we'll get into that when we start actually talking about bloody show. I am now also searching for the lyrics to the One Piece for Kids one, because I will now sing it at some point to annoy you. It is becoming my mission.
So, obviously, we have said I'm a One Piece mega fan. I am up to date on the anime. I am up to date on the manga. I have played. I hear a dog.
Yeah, that's mine. I have to go let him out.
Cool.
Oh,
I will.
Patrick, come here. This is Patrick.
Patrick.
This is
Patrick
my dog,
the
Patrick.
doggo.
He wasn't here last time we recorded. He is new. All right, I'm gonna go let him out. I'll be right back, gentlemen.
So, as I was saying, I played many of the video games. Big Pirate Warriors, dude, and it's my life. It's my lifeblood.
Because I've played the one of the games with you at some point from memory, probably many years ago now, on your Switch. Or PS4. We played it on the PS4 when you lived in a place. I almost actually said where you lived. So,
when you lived at this specific address.
Where you lived at this specific place. Yes.
Go visit.
I think we've all got some experience of One Piece, even though Jordan has like I know it exists because people have said it exists.
I was gonna say, and by people,
Daryl, Daryl.
People meaning one person.
I'm pointing to my left, but I bet you on Zoom I'm in the wrong place.
A little bit of facts for you guys about the One Piece live action show. So the One Piece show has been in development for many years, and it has about a budget of $18 million per episode.
Oh fuck!
Oh shit!
Which is more than Game of Thrones.
Good. Contrarian opinion. Game of Thrones sucks. Anyway,
man, you're gonna really alienate people.
That's the point. That's half the fun.
But money does not make a good show, as we saw with Rings of Power.
No, you're wrong.
I didn't watch it.
I also didn't watch it, but
well, that was a statement
only meant for you.
Statement. Yeah, that was cool. That's fine.
Hold on. So it had more money per episode than Game of Thrones. Man, it better be real good after this first episode then. Because now you shouldn't have mentioned that, because I'm gonna start judging it highly.
Interesting.
Also, I'm just gonna say one quick thing for everyone. I've never seen Game of Thrones, but it sucks. There you go. I
enjoyed it.
It was all right. I've seen season 8, episode 2, I think, which is like the one where it's pitch black and you can't see anything. Is that Game of Thrones season 8, episode 2? That battle?
No, that wasn't them. That was your TVs, according to them.
Oh yeah, my TV just was not good enough.
Yeah, they're like, the settings on your TV are wrong.
Not that they filmed it wrong or anything. Okay.
No.
Oh, hang on. Wait, this is meant to be about One Piece. How?
Anyway, yes. Let's get back on track.
One Piece. Never thought I'd say that.
Change that.
So the One Piece anime, Jordan, is very. It's one of the most outlandish and silly and crazy animes out there. Ichiro Oda, who created the anime or created the manga, wanted to create it because at the time in 1997, everyone was trying to be like a Dragon Ball ripoff, and he wanted to be different. He wanted to make it a lot more sillier. He gave Luffy the powers he has because he thought he wanted to give himself a challenge. So whenever we all as fans heard that they were doing a live action adaptation, we were like, that's going to be really hard. All you need to do is to look at like the character designs from the anime and the manga to realize this was a crazy idea. So there was a lot of balance and ebb and flow of what to include in the show, what not to include. And you know what fans can be like. Fans can be very like, you're changing the thing I love. Yeah.
They can be awful.
So on top of that, you also have the history of anime live actions. It's a very torrid past.
It's not great. It's not great.
No, I was going to say, you know, the live action anime scene has had some. Oh, I'm going to say something controversial. a lot of the anime adaptations aren't outright terrible.
Oh,
You're
okay,
right.
back this up.
Mainly, a lot of fan expectations put too much on them. I find like, right, Death Note live action. We can all agree is pretty bad.
I don't know. I've never seen it.
Okay, you've not seen it. It's pretty bad. However, casting Defoe is like one of the greatest pieces of casting I've ever seen, and he's not bad in it. He's a good adaptation. So it's like, so that's my stance on live action anime.
I mean, as we all know, the best live action anime adaptation. Shut your mouth. It's not my fault. I have to have the window open. It's fucking hot. Much like it is for you people. We're now currently time dating ourselves. Yeah, you people, you British living people.
Oh.
Did you just use the B word on me?
Yeah, I did. You heard me. Anyway, back on track. The best live action anime was, of course, Avatar: The Last Airbender movie.
It was fantastic.
The single greatest piece of live action anime content ever produced.
The way
and we will not hear an argument.
The way they adapted.
You will hear an argument.
The Earth powers, so that 4 people flew one small boulder, and it needed a fifth to look. Oh, just perfection.
I've never seen it. I just know it was so well received that it is like the pinnacle of success for live action anime.
It's who you are.
Anyway, let's move on to One Piece.
Yeah, let's cut off the Will of G's opinions because they don't matter.
So I've actually got some stats. I've got some stats for you.
Oh, okay.
I've prepared a bit.
That is very new that any of us have prepared anything ever.
And here are some of like the ratings from like anime live actions done by Hollywood. For example, you've got Dragon Ball Evolution. I don't know if anyone's seen that, but that was a shambles. On IMDb, it's got a 2.5. And then it has a critic score rating on Rotten Tomatoes of 15% and an audience review of 20%. Avatar: The Last Airbender.
10 out of 10.
No.
100 out of 10.
100% best. We can move on to the next one.
Continue. On to the next one. We've already said
we've covered this. Come on, we don't want to tread on old ground. Let's keep going.
Fuck me. Okay. Death Note that you mentioned.
Yes.
Is 4.6 on IMDb. It has a 36% critic rating on Rotten Tomatoes and 23% audience rating. Cowboy Bebop, which is a Netflix adaptation series, which was done a few years ago. What was given a 6.7 on IMDb, a 46% critic rating, and a 60% audience score. I am not a fan of the live action Cowboy Bebop show. Has anyone seen it? Does anyone have any opinions on it? Very quick.
I have an opinion, and I haven't seen it. My opinion is the Will of G told me when it came out that it was awful. And they wish they hadn't spent time watching it.
I'll give you my opinion. I've watched 2 episodes of the anime, the original, and I didn't like it, so I'm probably not gonna like the actual Cowboy Bebop.
Then you'll really hate it
because I didn't like the anime. So fuck you. I know it's a really popular one. Come for me. Actually, attack Will of G by liking and subscribing his videos
on YouTube.
I'll take that. Yeah. I'm not going to give out the ratings for the One Piece show. Unless, do you want to hear the ratings for the One Piece show at the moment?
No, I've only watched the 1 episode.
Okay, we'll leave it at that.
I don't want it to bully my opinion into being better or worse than it is.
Of course. So there is a live action curse. I'm kind of using this grape as a thing, as a pointer, as a thing, as a prop.
It's probably good because then you're not eating it. Oh, and there it goes.
Okay.
Just as you're about to make a point.
See, he is Luffy in real life.
So me and John will go quiet and wait for you to finish your grape. So you're going to have to cover for us.
So,
son of a bitch, we talked just too long.
What was I going to say?
It's going well.
So there is a curse with anime live action adaptations, like there is with the video game live action adaptations. So the One Piece show has just so much riding against it. Yeah, I think that was my point.
Oh, okay.
I thought you were actually going to make a detailed point. This
Yeah,
felt,
I
this
thought as
felt
well,
like a
because
thesis statement that you were going
it
to be like,
crescendoed.
yeah, and then it went.
No.
It crescendoed, and then it just fell off the edge of the cliff.
Well,
Just
why?
That's the point.
Why enter? I was already on a high.
Yeah, I did notice your voice was climbing and climbing. It's like, oh, it's like a roller coaster that just stops when you hit the top and it just slowly takes you back down. It's like, oh, well, that's upsetting.
I'll be honest. I thought I had a point.
But the other thing we've got to think about as well, the other thing to genuinely think about, the things like Sweet Home have been coming out, and I know it's not technically a manga. I think it's I can't remember what the name of the Korean like cartoon Manhwa was. I think it's a manhwa. So those have been doing some decent work, and there's others slowly coming out. So hopefully things are getting better for live action.
Are they going to make it? So they're making like the big name. Well, I say the big name, the ones that I've heard of, anime live actions, and one that obviously has very much been in the non-anime knowledge of mine is Attack on Titan. I don't know if they've already done one.
So there are anime live actions done by Japan. Bleach has one. There is an Attack on Titan one, which apparently is god awful. I've not seen it,
probably.
but I've heard stuff, and it's bad.
Well, isn't Alice in Borderland? Is it Alice in Borderland or something like that on Netflix as well? Is based off a manga, I think. There's the Ronan Kenshin films, which I think are
quite good.
Yeah, and I think they're adaptations as well. See, I'm spitballing off I haven't done any research. You see, the Will of G is a really research-heavy person, so you should like and subscribe to that. I'm plugging you.
If you want their in-depth, researched reviews and opinions and thoughts on things, you should go and subscribe to the Will of G. That's Will_of_G.
Yeah.
On YouTube. And make sure to leave them a comment saying you know nothing of anime.
We are now giving them more work.
Thanks for that.
Hey, I'm just trying to drive engagement. Even a bad comment's a good comment.
Yeah, it'll
still boost your engagement. See, I thought about it. I know how YouTube works.
Do we?
More than I do.
If you're live streaming and someone has your live stream open and then opens it again in a new window, not a new tab, but a new window, that's another viewer.
I'm gonna have 100 new tabs.
I don't know if your computer can run 100 new tabs.
I got a brand new spanking laptop.
Oh, you did?
32 gig RAM.
Ramming into what?
Nope. Nope.
You set me up for it, will you?
I did.
Terrible. This is a PG-12 channel. How dare you? Someone's got to go through and edit out all the swear words now, Will of G.
Yeah, I'm not going to do that. Okay, we are here to talk about episode 1 of the One Piece live action show on Netflix. And that episode is called Romance Dawn, which is actually the name of the first chapter of One Piece, I believe. I'm pretty sure that's right.
I wouldn't be able to tell you.
Or I think that might be the name of the flashback of Luffy. It's one of the two. First things first, did we like the episode? Yes or no? George.
I did.
I liked the episode. Jordan.
I did. I was hoping to get Willa G a little bit like, no.
It's been a long time since we've all kind of agreed, just in general, actually.
It has.
Yeah.
I mean, it has been 3 years since we last recorded.
Off camera, we just fight constantly. Yeah.
Off camera, we're not friends. We don't
hate
talk.
each other.
We just send each other horrible messages all the time. Not supportive whatsoever.
We would be in prison if the group chat got leaked.
I don't think we would. I think they'd be like, you know what? Good for them.
Good for them. That's an unhealthy male relationship.
That's a toxic relationship they've all got.
If we're being honest, I think if people read our group chats, they'd be like, these guys are in relationships with females, right?
Yeah, they
Sure
would.
about that?
And hold on. And then they'd go, and one of them's married?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's happened since 2 years.
That's
ago.
happened.
happened.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's happened.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Jordan is married, and Jordan's in.
Yeah,
Um,
so our schedules are going to be difficult.
Oh, yeah.
So don't expect them new every time. We're doing 3 years between each episode.
What do you guys like about the episode? What was your main takeaway? What did you like most about the episode?
I liked how colourful it was. It was very bright and vibrant. And it was really nice. Because most shows now are dark, dingy, and depressing. And I'm sure we'll get moments like that in the series.
Yeah.
But it was bright, it was nice, it was welcoming and inviting. It didn't make me want to turn off after the first 5 minutes, which is important for me because I get bored.
I think the thing I really liked, and I think this will cause a bigger discussion, is I think, and okay, I've watched all 8 episodes, so I'm having to remember what's in each episode a little bit, but I think I can confidently say the casting for every character is really on point. I think each actor really pulls off live action. I also watched it in English, and I'm kind of very happy with how they done it, because sometimes adapting an anime, I know in the Will of G's reaction, he says about them shouting out the name of the attacks in English, he didn't like as much. It sounded weird. I think it worked. I really liked it. It felt cartoony, it felt fun, felt silly, and I really liked it.
And to add on to that point,
Oh.
To add on to
Go
that
on.
point, fuck you, I'm going next. To add on to that point, as someone who's never watched it before, having them say the attacks in English, if they had said the attacks in any other language, I would have been buggered to know what it actually meant, because I have no prior knowledge of what it is. And I agree, it did feel cartoony and it felt cool. I still didn't know what the attacks actually meant.
Just quickly on your point, the attacks, what they do is they just say the title of like their devil fruit, and then just give like an attack name. So, for example, Luffy's main one is Gum Gum Pistol, because his punch is as strong as a pistol. Ta-da!
Okay.
It's just a bit of cheese, good old anime cheese. For me, when I watched the trailers and they showed like Gum Gum Pistol, going from the Japanese dub, because the Japanese dub is Gumma Gumma no Pistol, or Pistole, and it sounds really cool. But when you listen to like the English dub of the anime and they go Gum Gum Pistol, you're like, shoot me now. When I watched the show with them doing the moves, it definitely sounded a lot better in context. It's very exciting. The casting statement, I agree, except for one person.
Oh no! Who are we about to argue
Is it
about?
Luffy?
No.
Oh.
The only casting I have a bit of an issue with is Gold Roger.
Oh, that's the guy at the start. Yeah.
I was gonna say that's
guy
the
that-
guys immediately,
Yeah.
right?
Okay.
Yes.
I was going to
Yes.
bring this up later when we had the what maybe wasn't as good. So
Okay. It's just a discussion.
yeah, I've kind of just went, that scene happened, okay, and left it there.
You know what? We're here now, so let's talk about it now.
Mm-hmm. So that scene was there was a more like stylized version of it at the beginning of like the anime openings for many. I think there was like maybe 5 openings where they kept telling that story of Gold Roger dying and saying, if you want to find my thing, it's called the One Piece, go and find it somewhere on the Grand Line, starting the Great Pirate Era. In this, it's a bit more realistic. There's a character in that scene that wasn't actually there, so that was a bit of change they did, which was Garp, the Scottish man who was speaking. But for me, the reason I don't particularly like the Gold Roger casting is that his speech, for me, wasn't such a rousing speech as it is in the anime.
Because I don't think they mentioned the Grand Line, do they? This might be me misremembering, so I'm happy to be very much corrected it, but I don't remember him saying it's in the Grand Line, head to the Grand Line or whatever. in his little speech. It felt very short and just a lot of and it's like, okay, you're mad then. It didn't give me this is a great captain of the seas. It's more this is a delusional man having a little laughing fit before he dies. His treasure definitely isn't real, rather than
don't we all?
Yeah.
Because the thing about One Piece, and this is kind of like a little bit of spoilers, not really, it's fan theories and the like, but the way that the actor kind of treats it is like that there is a treasure, but we don't know if it actually is a treasure. We don't know what the One Piece is. All we know from the manga is that Gold Roger and his crew arrived on the last island called Laugh Tale, and that is where the One Piece is. And whenever they went on the island, they saw the thing that was there and all burst out laughing.
See, I know what the One Piece is.
No, you don't.
I do, because I'm good friends with Oda. Me and him just casually hang out. The One Piece is the friendship we made along the way.
It probably is, but it's okay.
Yeah, honestly, the very first that first scene when he's like when they start mentioning the One Piece, it really did. Before that, my brain really was my soundbite at the very start. I had no idea what it was. So when they were like, my treasure, and then it goes, yes, the One Piece. I was like, oh, that's what that means. That's why it's called this.
Yes.
It was genuinely like such a realization moment. It was interesting to say the least for my brain to go, oh.
Jordan, how did you feel Gold Roger performed that speech? Did you feel I was about to use the wrong. I was going to say roused, but then my mouth was about to say aroused. I'm like, that's not.
No, I wasn't so much as aroused as No, I thought it was, big and like, and I don't mean this in a negative way, I suppose. Campy, if you get what I mean. Like, it was just very like.
Interesting.
It basically fits in with how I imagined a live action anime would be. So not knowing how he was in the manga or the anime, I just thought that's how he was. So I was like, yeah, that seems like that's accurate to how he's probably portrayed in both of those things.
Of course. I feel like with the One Piece show, why people like it so much, there's so much subtext, there's so much conspiracy, there's so much mystery in the show. And whenever Roger does that thing, he's not doing that to be like, yeah, I'm a great pirate and find my treasure, yar. No, he's doing this because he knows if he says this, it's going to cause so much problems for the Marines and the world government. So he's really kind of being slightly like an anarchist. And there's just a dog.
He wants to have his opinion on One Piece known. Hold on, let me hear it. Okay, he says that Golden Rogers, or whatever his name is,
Gold Roger,
close enough, was a great addition to the manga and anime, and he thinks he should be in every episode, even though he's dead. Spoiler.
Yep.
I agree. That would be the perfect adaptation. Just Gold Roger showing up every episode just to say, "Hi, I'm Gold Roger. Find the One Piece," and then leaving.
Just like a memory of just like a flashback, just like find the one. Yeah, I know. Find the One Piece.
Okay, so and then one thing that they kind of slightly got wrong was that whenever Gold Roger gets stabbed, he's supposed to die with a smile, and he does die with a smile, but it's after he gets stabbed he starts laughing. It's supposed to draw comparisons to characters, and different people who die with a smile means that that they've lived a full life and they're really, really happy. So the fact that he didn't, I was like, oh, this is that was so. You will be hearing a little bit of the differences, in my opinion, some differences.
Yeah, but I think the one thing to point out directly is it is definitely heavier into adaptation than faithful recreation, and I think that's something because I haven't read any articles, but I have seen titles of our articles, and from the titles, it makes it seem like they don't understand that this is more adaptation rather than one-for-one recreation of like because I'm presuming I've watched all 8 episodes, so I'm presuming it goes up to a point in the manga which is probably like 150 chapters, something like that, and they've condensed it down quite a lot.
I think it's about 50-ish. I think chapters. No. The entire East Blue Saga is 100 chapters, I think, and then the anime was 50 something.
So they've had to condense this down into about 6.5, 7 hours.
I have a question.
Yes.
Aren't there like 1,000 episodes of the anime?
Currently, at the time of recording, there is 1,074 chapters, anime episodes, and there's 1,091 manga chapters. We're almost there. We're almost at the end game. It might be a few more years, but we're almost there.
Was there, because I saw something on Twitter, because I refused to call it X, because that's ridiculous. I know. Just give me a minute. I'm getting there. Sorry, Patrick, my dog, is wanting to be known. Wasn't there like a time jump of some kind? Because I saw, I saw that, and that's all I know of One Piece, other than what was in this episode.
I think it's so hard for new watchers is to not get spoilers, because if you saw the time skip, you might see like who new crew members are. But it's so
I only
hard
heard
to
that there was a time skip, and that the before the time skip felt like a different anime to after the time skip.
Oh, that's an interesting thing that you saw on Twitter.
I don't know why I saw it, but
it definitely gets a lot more wackier.
Okay.
You're on One Piece Twitter now.
I'm definitely not.
You're fucked.
I definitely am not. Otherwise, Twitter will not be staying on my phone. I have enough people in my life who are obsessed with One Piece. I don't need people online to be as well.
See, one obsessed person in your life is one too many.
What are you trying to say? Are you trying to say we're getting rid of the Willa G? Subscribe and like on YouTube.
I'm saying that we should subscribe and like to the YouTube channel Will of G, and then cut him out as our friend, so then we can just see his opinions there.
Wow.
Give him the interaction.
Listen, until he's visited, I ain't making any decision.
Oh. I mean, okay. I feel added right now. Good. Okay.
All I'm going to say is George has visited twice.
I have. Twice.
Anyway, One Piece.
One Piece. One thing I noticed about this show was it's quite brutal. Like, it was quite violent. I was like, what is going on here?
I liked it. I thought it was going to be like, oh, everyone gets hurt, but it's going to be like the Power Rangers hurt, where they kind of just do a flip and that's it. And then I saw blood and people having their heads caved in, and I was like, oh no, this is different to what I was expecting.
Yeah.
But it's not over the top violence, because that was my worry was actually it was going to go violent, but overly violent, like
right.
Because it's pirates. There's swords. Zoro is a very famous character for using swords, so you're expecting people to get kind of cut up in it. And I was like, they're gonna go that route, but I was worried that we were gonna get like a head cut off, and then all the blood would be like everywhere, and it'd be all over the top, cartoony blood everywhere. But it's kind of done in a tasteful way that you're like, oh, violence, and it makes when someone gets killed more impactful.
The one thing that I find really interesting with the show is that people die in the anime and manga. People don't die a lot. And it is one of the grievances that fans have with One Piece, is that people like go through a lot, and like people get blown up and they're still alive, and they're like, But when people do actually die in the show, it is a lot more impactful. But with this, they're killing people right, left, and center. And I'm like, all right, this is what we're doing. Okay, people are just going to die. That's fine. It's okay. I've accepted this now. The scene with Zoro and Mr. Seven, where we get Zoro's like introduction, was only ever like a comment made by Zoro when we're in the Grand Line. So for me, I was like, it was very, very interesting to actually see this. And we were like, whoa. And when he comments it, he just says that, oh, one of you guys tried to recruit me way back when. And And that's all we got. And then they used that as his introduction. I thought was really cool.
Did you feel vindicated for having got to that point and then seeing that story play out?
I wouldn't say vindicated. It was nice. It was good.
I think the one thing I think that does come across in the show, and I think this is where you can compare other live action remakes of animes too. It's clear that the people making the One Piece live action are at least fans of One Piece. They've got some, either, even if they don't actively read it, they've got respect and they're willing to do the research to make things more accurate. Like the casting, I think from my understanding, they've got a Brazilian actor for Luffy because Luffy is meant to be Brazilian if it was in the real world. Is that correct? Or am I misremembering something?
So at the end of like manga chapters, Oda does like a Q&A or does like these things called SBS, where he would answer questions by fans, or he would give us like outside information that he hasn't put in the manga. And one of those, like, I think one of the fan questions was, what would the nationalities be of the crew? And so Oda put nationalities to them. So Luffy was Brazilian. Nami, I think it's like Swedish or from like Finland.
Best character.
And Zoro is Japanese. Kind of done it quite well, I felt. And it was really nice to see that they remained faithful to what Oda-san had said. Going on your comments there, Jordan. Favorite character?
Yeah, Nami. My dog disagrees. He shook his head.
Who's your favorite character?
Hold on, let me get. I have their name written down. Hold on. Patrick is being a little shitbag, but the red-headed one who looks like the chick from Fifth Element.
Nami.
That's it. I thought I said her name right, but then you made me doubt myself, you asshole.
No, I couldn't hear it because of the dog.
Oh yeah, no, he's an issue. I'll make sure he's not hearing this recording.
It's okay. Nami, cool.
Yeah, yeah. She just seemed cool, and she seemed like she knew what she was doing most of the time.
George, who's your favorite character so far?
I'm gonna get murdered. I love Garb.
Okay, interesting. Cool.
I don't remember which one that is.
The older character,
the guy who spoke at the execution. Yeah, and he was at the very end of the episode being like,
"Oh, the like Marine commander person." Got it.
He's a vice admiral, which is the third highest rank in the Marines.
Third highest rank. Oh, okay. Hey, it could have been either.
He's played by Vincent Reagan, who I think I know from other things as well. So
he's in 300.
That'll be where I know.
There you go.
Yeah.
So he plays.
That's where most people know him from.
He plays the dad who has a son in the 300, and he goes like crazy when his son.
Yes.
Dies. If you haven't watched 300 right now, what are you doing with your lives?
Yeah, it's a great film. Go watch it after you've watched all the Will of G's videos.
He was in Troy. He was in Troy as well. I've got his IMDb up now. I'm now looking.
Did you guys actually? So talking about people, did you recognize the narrator at the beginning?
Is that Ian McShane? No.
Ian McShane, yes.
Oh, it is Ian McShane. Yeah. Fuck yeah, I got it right.
Ian McShane, he played Blackbeard in Pirates of the Caribbean, among others. Which is interesting because there is a Blackbeard in One Piece.
I'm very excited to see how they do casting other characters moving forward, obviously, because we know there is going to be a lot more characters. I can't talk about that character yet because we're on episode 1. Shit, I almost did a spoiler. I'll keep my mouth shut.
Yeah, exactly. So for me in this show, I feel like Nami, Emily Rudd, who portrays Nami, is like the best actor in the show. For me, however, the other castings, so Makenyu as Roronoa Zoro, and Iñaki Godoy, I think that's how he says surname, plays Monkey D. Luffy. All very, very good. And I think Iñaki has the hardest job because Luffy is unapologetically naive and silly. I feel like I'm goofy and smiley. I feel like that is so hard to do without being really cheesy.
the thing is, and I say this from a place of nice. I really like Emily as Nami. She's doing a fantastic job. But I think for me, Inaka is the better performer overall because of how hard their job is. It's not native language. It's not that, but they portrayed this innocence through Luffy that's really infectious. Because I'm going to say my contrarian opinions again.
Go ahead.
Oh, no one likes it when you do that.
When I watched the anime, and this might be the 4Kids dub's problem, I didn't like Luffy. I didn't find a good connection to the character, and my big worry coming into this was that I wasn't going to like Luffy, and that's a problem when it's the main character. But I like Luffy, and I really like the chemistry between Luffy, Zoro, and Nami that we've got at the minute. The three actors are doing a really good job. I love them all.
I think you're right there.
By the way, this is me changing my opinion slightly because I'm making this opinion as if I'd only seen the first episode. It will change as we go along. I've watched all of them, so
I like how they interacted in this episode. I think it makes sense from a story perspective. They've only just met. They have no reason to like each other or get on. They are only doing it because, and like doing what they've done, because it makes sense for them to do in that moment. As we all would. You don't have to like the people you're stuck with.
Too true.
Yeah.
Definitely the best bit is how they interact with each other. Because when I first watched it, I've watched it 4 times, episode 1.
Why?
I watched it once in English. I watched it again in English. I watched it whilst I'm editing the reaction in English. And then I watched it again in the Japanese dub. Fun fact about the Japanese dub is that a lot of the characters are dubbed
anime
by
ones.
the animes.
Oh, no, he didn't.
Oh.
You stole my fun fact.
You fucking vulture.
But the leg. Oh, hello.
Hello. Giving up for free.
I was doing like an Uncle Roger thing. What the trailers and promotional material was telling us that it was the Straw Hat crew were going to be the portrayed by the Japanese actors. But not only that, when I was watching the show, other actors from the Japanese dub are portrayed in the anime, and that was a really nice surprise. So Shanks is portrayed by the live action show. Kobe is as well, and then on the other episodes we meet people like that as well. So if you want that experience of hearing the Japanese dub, this might be a really nice way to kind of get into the anime by getting used to the Japanese dub. It was slightly better.
I'm gonna just move on because I disagree. I think the English is the way to watch it.
Wait, I have no opinion.
Good. But I'm gonna bring up Kobe because he's been brought up now. That is the best adaptation of a character I have ever seen between someone looking exactly like you would expect that drawing to look in real life. I think there are things about every other one that you can go, oh, they don't really look. But Kobe, I'm like, did you just make him? Did you make him for One Piece? He
I know.
Perfect.
And Kobe also has like a hard job because Cody is very sheepish and very much a coward, and that's hard to do without being hated. And I think everyone pretty much likes Kobe.
Oh, sorry. I clapped. There was a fly. I tried to get it. I'm sorry. I forgot we recorded and I just went like.
Oh, holy shit. Yeah, they really did a good job. Sorry, I just had to Google a picture of Kobe.
So which picture have you got?
They're in...
Because Kobe changes. Yeah, so that is so you need an earlier photo because Kobe transforms, which is something I'm going to bring up in when we talk about different episodes, which is very interesting. I'm currently just finished episode 3, and the ending of episode 3 for any anime fans is like, what the hell is going on? So it is very, very exciting when we get there. We'll chat about that.
Is it that one?
Yes, that's the original.
Holy shit! Yeah, no. Even still, they did a very good job. Yeah, I think that the photo that I first looked at was Kobe when they were in the Marines, and I saw a spoiler, not for the TV, for the manga.
Mm-hmm.
Row.
It was gonna happen. I'm not gonna watch it past this season if there's another season, unless we review it. It's not something that would draw in my viewership normally, because I have zero. If it wasn't for you, I wouldn't have watched it at all. But I did it for you. You fuck.
Well, that was something that I'm going to be asking throughout the when we go through each episode. Is like, does this show make you want to watch the original anime? So I'm going to ask a question now since you brought it up. Jordan, will you watch the anime from watching this show?
Probably not.
At this moment in time. Okay. Cool.
No.
I've got to bring up a correction I've made. I've just made a Google and we've made a mistake. Inaka Godoy is a Mexican actor. Apologies, I said Brazilian.
Hey, I didn't make a mistake because I didn't comment on it.
I am correcting myself. I am learning from my mistakes. I am growing. I am stronger. I am better. I'm very sorry. He is a Mexican actor. Apologies. Okay. I wanted to make sure I was right. Should have checked it before and did not. I have learned. I'll check better.
And that's okay.
I think they're trying to keep it in the ethnicity region. Yes. Necessarily their country of origin, which is still cool.
Yes.
George, would you watch the anime after watching this episode?
Oh, after watching this episode, right? Hang on.
See, this is why I only watched the one episode.
I watched all 8. I made a mistake.
Yes, you did.
No, but I wanted to. I got hooked. I did get hooked because I watched all 8 episodes. I can clearly say that.
So by that logic.
However, it doesn't make me want to watch the anime or go read the manga. I'm kind of oddly invested in live action One Piece and I want to see it get to the end. Now, I would like to see it do a full run, or even if it can't fully go to the end because of aging, whatever, I would like to see this go as far as it can. I would watch this again, but I don't know at the minute if I'd go out and watch the anime.
I'd worried less about the aging and more the cost.
No, bugger it. People have billions. It's Netflix. They have like money.
That's our money. Why do you think our memberships are costing more?
Okay, that's interesting. Because I think as fans, we have all said that, like, even if it's not good, we hope that it's good for newbies, and that would make newbies come to watch the anime and read the manga, and that's kind of what we're all hoping would happen. So it's interesting from episode 1. I've also felt with episode 1 that people wouldn't watch it just from that.
Yeah.
One big reason, it changes a lot. It does change quite a bit. So, for example, Zoro...
I was going to say, can we do a little section where you kind of speed run some changes?
Oh!
Non-spoiler changes.
Yeah.
Oh, non-spoiler changes.
Hey, maybe we do that episode 2.
Yeah.
To give
him time.
Willa G time to think about it.
I could probably do it right now.
Okay.
Okay.
Well,
I could
the
do
demon
a
fruit.
decent one.
Do you want me to put 30 seconds on the clock?
Give him a minute. Let's see how many you can do in a minute. This might be fun. Yeah.
George, will you give us a little
I'll give you a
voice thing?
countdown. Here is Will of G doing every difference he spotted or can remember in 1 minute. 3, 2, 1, go.
So, first of all, Garp was at the execution of Roger, which he wasn't there. He was away fighting another pirate. We never really got to see Luffy on his pirate ship beforehand, and actually he got out of his beginning pirate ship because of a whirlpool, not because his boat was flooding. Alvida is actually raiding a merchant ship, which actually has Nami on board that merchant ship because she's trying to steal from the merchant ship, but she hides in the merchant ship, and then she goes onto the pirate ship to steal the pirate's treasure. Luffy gets brought onto the merchant ship, and Alvida's pirates take the barrel that Luffy is in and bring it onto her ship. But 3 pirates from Alvida's crew try to break into the barrel to see what's in there, with Kobe there, and Luffy breaks out and punches those pirates, and then they have a little heart-to-heart. Then they go up and they insult Alvida, kind of like in this, but it's not at nighttime, it's during the daytime. Whenever they go to Shell's Town, Zoro is... I'm just going to keep going, bastard. And that is just the first episode. All the Alvida Pirate stuff is just the first episode. The Shell's Town stuff, when they get there, Zoro is already locked up. He's already in that CrossFit. So there isn't a pub fight where Luffy and stuff is there. There is kind of a pub fight, because Helmeppo does the same thing. He's mean to Makino. Not Makino, that's a different character. Ryuna, and Zoro defends Ryuna, and then he gets locked up. Ryuna tries to feed Zoro when he's locked up with no food or water, and in doing so, Helmeppo catches her and destroys the rice balls on the ground on the floor, and Luffy comes in, feeds Zoro the muddied rice balls in order for him to get some food. Then Luffy goes and finds Zoro's swords instead, and then that's how they get part of the crew. But Captain Morgan is actually captured by the other Marines because he's a really bad leader, punishes anyone for saying anything bad about him or anything. So they capture him for being a corrupt Marine, and that's kind of how, that's the differences in that episode.
Let's call it a minute and a half.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Yeah, that's not bad.
That's what I can. That's what I can think of. Oh, and then Nami doesn't actually join. Has never met Luffy properly yet.
Okay. I wanted to say, because it's kind of been brought up now. We brought up our antagonists for this episode.
Mm-hmm.
So let's talk about them a little bit. What did you? Firstly, let's get on with
Alvida.
Alvida Zane. Goodbye.
Mm-hmm.
What did you think of her, Jordan?
It was a bit much. I don't know if it was the writing or not. It just seemed like, I get that they're meant to be like a harsh pirate captain, but it didn't bring me joy. I didn't think it was too great, because some of the things after that, because obviously in that bit, Luffy and Alvida, yes, got the name right, thank you, have the fight. I don't understand why he doesn't just commandeer her ship. He punched her off the ship.
It got set on fire. When they were fighting.
They could fix that.
And also, Luffy doesn't know how to pilot a ship. I don't know.
I'm sure Kobe does, though.
That's true.
Some things just didn't make sense for me, but he's super stretchy. Stretch himself into a fucking sail.
Well, your answer to that question will be answered in episode 3.
Fucking better be.
Not completely answered, but he kind of talks about something about what a pirate ship means to him. So hopefully that can, that will answer that question.
What were your thoughts then, Will of G?
I thought Alvida was done really, really well. I think it was a really hard thing to do, adapting from the anime, because when that story happened, that was in the 90s, late 90s. Mm-hmm. And in today's world where body positivity is such a huge thing, how they treat Alvida originally is not a lot of body positivity going on there. They make fun of Alvida's size. They call her ugly. So I thought it was okay, how are they going to handle the shaming of Alvida? Because Luffy is as we've seen, is brutally honest. So Alvida goes around and says that she's the most beautiful pirate in all the seas. All of her crews is scared of her, so they said, we've seen with Kobe, says it because she'll kill them.
Mm-hmm.
But Luffy just says, "Who's this fat cow?" And that's what he says. And it'd just be "Oh my god, how did you say that?" And then a fight breaks out. But that was in the late 90s. So I was wondering how are they going to combat that, and I thought they did it really well. I thought it was quite cool how it was very subtle, but when we first see her, there's a pirate behind her holding a mirror.
Mm-hmm.
And I was oh, she's looking at herself in the mirror because she loves herself. I like that. That was really nice. But how brutal she was, we actually got to see Alvida's strength, because we didn't really get to see it in the anime. So I felt she is actually quite a terrifying pirate and quite a brutal pirate, especially when she executed that dude just for giving her information. But I don't like that the fight was at nighttime, because I thought it was hard to see. My final point was just I thought the actor did a very, very good job.
that fight, going back to it very quickly, it was over so quick. Like, I can't lie. When Luffy hit her, my brain just went, one punch.
Yeah.
That was because I was like, oh, that's oh, it's over. He hit her once, and now that's over.
I think it's best to move now on to Captain Morgan. Is that his name? Is that the correct name?
Yes.
I think we should move on.
Morgan.
Axang
Okay,
Morgan.
I was going to say, is that the action man?
And his son, haircut guy, whose name I never remember.
Helmeppo.
His name is Haircut Guy, and that's what I shall call him because I will not remember that name.
I'm going to call him
So
Draco because
funny.
he reminds me of Draco Malfoy.
That is fair.
Wait till my father hears about this.
So the fun thing about that's actually a really good point. I didn't realize that. And the fun thing about Helmeppo, my first reaction was like, he's got this long, luscious hair, and I was like, he's got luscious hair. What's going on here? Helmeppo has a stupid haircut. And then at the very end of the episode, Zoro gave him the stupid haircut. I'm like, yes, this is what I want. Yes.
I think I like that because I remembered Hair Guy's haircut quite prominently because of that famous 4Kids scene where he has like a contraption instead of a pistol. If anyone remembers that scene, yes, I have that burned into my retinas. I see it so often. But I like that they changed him to being quite conventionally attractive before he gets humbled. And then he gets the stupid hair to humble him. It's kind of a nice... It adds a bit more to his character and it makes him less of just a dick. He's just more of a spoilt brat who kind of needed putting in his place rather than what, from my memory in 4Kids, that is, he's just nothing redeemable.
I love that that's your barometer, by the way. It's like in 4Kids.
Yes. It's the only way to have watched One Piece before.
It's not... Okay. And talking about him being moderately attractive, you now got to talk about the booty shot.
Yes, we do. There was a booty shot.
We got his booty. What do you... Don't look confused. Did you not notice the booty shot?
I definitely didn't notice the booty shot.
They used the sword as an allegory for his penis in that scene.
Yes.
They shot it in a way that it made you go, hey, the sword's his penis.
Yes. So we go to his room, and it's so cool because you go to a picture of him in like sunglasses, like looking really gallantly. I mean, doesn't have a top on, and he's swinging around the Wado Ichimuji. I can never say this correctly.
A sword.
Zoro's white sword.
Yeah, let's just say the sword.
Sorry, there's like the named swords is a big thing in One Piece. Anyway,
it's episode 1. Come on down.
And then he swings and he turns around and we just get a big booty.
Didn't even notice it. I can't lie.
That is how committed Jordan is to his wife. I applaud that. He doesn't even notice it anymore. He's just like, no.
No, I was probably having something to eat, so I was paying more attention to my food than that in the moment.
I mean, when I saw that shot, I got quite hungry.
Oh God. I can eat a peach for hours.
And what Willa G is saying is, go fast, eat ass.
Oh, my mate. Or so, okay.
Swiftly moving on.
Axan Morgan. Thoughts, Axan Morgan?
Simplistic, but effective. You know, he didn't need to be complicated. He just needed to be kind of there, a bit threatening. I was worried how he was going to look because obviously in the 4Kids anime, he's quite imposing. He's got obviously the jaw thing and the axe, and he's meant to look all imposing. So I was worried he was going to look silly with the jaw thing and the axe hand, but it kind of works because obviously the whole show is being silly, and it's like, yeah, it doesn't look... The jaw looks a little goofy, but it's still fun for me. So I give it a pass. I'm like, it's fine.
Yeah, I think that was like some of the things that they could have like cut. They could have cut the jaw. I'm glad they didn't, because you're right, it did work. A big thing about One Piece is you'll never... It'd be very, very rare for you to meet a character design that you've seen before.
Okay.
That is like
Fuck.
how massive and how good Oda is that you won't get that.
Do you reckon he has a massive booklet of all the characters he's done? And
Yes,
before he
I
makes a
think
new
so.
one,
No,
they go
what
through
I
and go,
believe,
it's too similar.
I believe Oda has 4Kids somewhere still alive doing the designs for him, because 4Kids was peak design.
No, it wasn't.
You know what I'm going to do that's going to upset you, Will G? I might actually have to watch the 4Kids.
I think you should. We could do a discussion on the 4Kids One Piece and talk about how great it is as an adaptation.
Maybe that's our next review.
It could be. Yeah, I think we should do it. Yeah, but don't give it up, Luffy. Don't give it up, Nami. I didn't find the lyrics.
Fight scenes in general. So, the pub fight scene. What do you guys think about the pub?
It was good. I get it.
For me, every fight scene is quite good. One thing, hang on, is that this episode? No, I'll leave that till later when we've watched a few more episodes, because it becomes more noticeable later. But for now, the fights for me are fine. They're good.
Mm-hmm.
There is an issue with one character in particular because of their fighting style that doesn't.
Go ahead. Who?
Zoro?
Okay.
What, the mouth sword?
Yeah, the mouth sword. I think it looks fine and it's good, but I think you will begin to notice that they don't use it very often.
I noticed that in this episode.
Yeah, it feels
It's
like
just there.
Yeah, it feels to me that like when they do the thing, it does look fine. It looks goofy, but it's fine because that's what the character's thing is. Da 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 da. But as the episodes go on, you will begin to notice that he doesn't really use all three swords. And my understanding, as not a big One Piece fan, is that he uses the three sword fighting style a lot. Like it's his main fighting style. Have I insulted the anime watchers?
Probably. I think that's a fair point. Obviously, it's a very hard fighting style to do in real life. And a lot of the times with anime, with sword fighting, you don't always see the impact, do you? You always see like the after. So they don't really think about it too much. It's cool pose, ending cool pose, and not think too much about how it actually hits. What I will say though is when he used the sword to like catch Aksan's throat was sick, because he put the third sword the wrong way around, and I was like, what's that? And then he did it, and I was like, oh, he thought ahead. That was really cool. But with your question where he uses the three sword style a lot, he kind of uses the three sword style as his strongest form, but he won't necessarily use it for weaker opponents.
And that's his Super Saiyan.
That's his Super Saiyan. So his Super Saiyan is actually putting that bandana on.
Right.
So when he put the bandana on, I was like, he put the bandana on, it's serious time. So whenever he used like one sword or two sword style before, he's like, these people aren't that strong. He actually, once in the anime, his swords were like taken away from him, and he used the zero sword style.
That's just
which is
fist fighting.
Yeah, it was sick.
That's just martial arts, right?
Kind of like in One Piece, whenever someone like swipes a sword, they can create like, they swipe it so hard that like an energy blast happens, or like the wind of it it's so clean that it can affect people from far away. So he kind of did that with his hand. Anime stuff. All right. It looks cool.
If that's in this series, it's not going to look great.
Well, they kind of did it in Six's Island against your dude when he swung around, and it made all the
leaves and
the candles go out.
Yeah, but he had a sword in his hand, right?
Yes, he did.
Yeah, but if he's doing it with just his fucking hand,
he's talking about like seeing Jedi's doing mind things and going, whoa. Like it'd be like the Force doing that, you'd accept it. But if you saw someone doing the Force,
just go basically, yeah,
you'd be like, no, that's not how the
Force works. If I karate
works.
chop and there's a bloody like pulse of energy that I'm like, no, that's ridiculous, even for anime. I will say, still think Nami did the best fight in that scene.
Yeah, I really liked Bojitsu. I'm a big sucker for Bojitsu anyway. I love Bojitsu.
And it
So cool.
collapses to like that.
Yeah.
Great.
It's like a good version of those shitty Wish products, you know, the little
Right.
staff that pops
baton,
out.
yeah.
I want
Yeah.
it, and I want it to be real.
The interesting thing about Nami being really good at fighting is when we meet her in the anime, she can hold her own, she's good.
Mhm.
But the East Blue Sea that they're on is the weakest sea in the world. And when they go on, later down the line, they meet stronger people. Nami, among 3 others in the crew, is the weakest in the crew, which I thought was really interesting how she could really hold her own there. It was fun. It was fun.
I hope that she stays holding her own throughout the entire series.
They say that she's the weakest, but she has some OP maneuvers. She's the weakest because she becomes a bit of a coward because everyone is like god tier strength, and she's still like a human, like
right,
no
like
thanks.
he's got 3 swords which can cut people up.
Yep.
Luffy is literally invincible from what I've seen in the first episode. He gets fucking hammered.
Luffy has hacks.
Right. He has god hacks. He's just unbeatable.
Like,
And
and then
I'm
you've
like-
got Axe Hand Morgan, who may be a human, but he has an axe for a hand.
For a
That's just
hand.
cheating.
I will say about Axan Morgan, I think his jaw could have been bigger. I think it was quite thin. And I was like, because I saw a photo after the fact, I saw a photo of Axan Morgan in the live action, Axan Morgan in the manga, and anime, I can't remember which one. And I was like, oh, his jaw's absolutely huge compared to, and I was like, they could have done that a bit bigger, and he still would have been like, I think it would have looked really cool, because if you're going all out and like cheesy with all the rest of it, that you can kind of take the liberty on as well.
I think
There's
really
literally-
not that cheesy.
Really?
Yeah, that's how crazy the anime is. It's so cheesy.
But like for this episode, I was comparing like all the stuff
Okay.
that they did do in it, and like I was like, yeah, you know, if he's super stretchy and they did that well, and they didn't kind of, you know, hold back on that, yeah, just give him a bigger jaw. What's the like? Just make it a bit bigger.
Okay, that's an interesting.
I did make it. I called something when I was watching it. When Nami is in the bar and a guy starts hitting her, she's like, too tall. I'm like, she's gonna steal a fucking uniform.
Did you get it? Well done. Well done.
Yeah, I was like, why else would a small person be like too tall?
Oh, come on. We stan short kings like me here. Give me something.
You're both short kings, to be fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, and I love my short kings.
Will of G is at least 4'2", and I'm at least 4'3". So you know.
And
We-
technically,
Yeah, I'm
those
not
statements
sitting
are
down,
both
I'm-
correct.
I'm standing right now. So the Gum Gum pistol was cool, but you couldn't really
Mhm.
see it as effective. Gum Gum whip, though.
See, I remember from Will of G's reaction that he said, "Oh, some of these live action shots don't look good," and I think whip was slightly shown in the trailer. Am I thinking of something else?
It was shown, and I thought it was
Yeah.
sick.
Oh, I no, I'm thinking of a different bit that you read to. I think the special effects.
You're
have
thinking
been-
about Chop Chop Cannon.
That's what I'm thinking of. Yes, it is. I like the whip. I think the special effects so far have been pretty good, because there are some poor ones, but they're like goofy enough that they get away with being poor
Right.
because of the
Yeah.
tone. Like, they've fallen in such a great area to be in with this
Yeah.
live action. For me, I think they've fallen into the realm of, we can get away with this like the guy getting sliced in half by Zoro early on. It kind of goes a bit PS2 like that, kind of falling off each other, a bit weird, but it looks fine because everything is slightly goofy and slightly
Mhm.
like, oh, that's quite funny in a comically dark way. So I'm happy with that sort of stuff. I liked Gum Gum Whip. It was very good.
I've been quite forgiving in terms of the, you know, the animation, not the anime, like the CGI kind of thing, because I was like, oh, it's not going to be a massive budget. Now I know it's a massive budget per episode. My brain might be a bit more harsh on it, because I was being really forgiving whilst watching it. I was like, yeah, look, you know, it looks pretty. It looked pretty good, but it didn't look amazing. Like,
Mm-hmm.
because I didn't know how much. I presume they only got like $1 million or $2 million per episode, but now I know it's like more than Game of Thrones had per episode. I was like, oh fuck, these need to be pristine.
I think they've spent a lot of money on the practical sets. A lot of stuff is
They have.
practical. And
I actually prefer that.
Yeah.
oh, we always. The sets do look different. So when we go to the flashbacks, we'll talk a little bit about flashbacks now, is when they go to Windmill Village. Windmill Village looks a lot different. And I think what they've done, production-wise, is they've tried to keep things in enclosed spaces to maybe reduce the amount of CGI background work they need to do. Because Windmill Village is actually a very, like, it looks like Pallet Town vibes. Also, this was a lot more of like Port Town, rustic bar vibes, but it was quite closed off. And with Shell's Town, when they're fighting and stuff, they don't need to spend so much on CGI. So, and then I've seen, like, in the trailers, you see different scenes, and you're like, oh, we're inside for that. Normally that's completely outside, but you've probably done that to save money on CGI.
Yeah, because did you say Shell Town?
Shell's Town is the place that we were at.
Okay. The fort in there, yeah, you don't, all you need is the sky. And, you know, you don't really have to add much else because it's in, as you say, it's all inside. You can't really see much. And I think, again, with the Windmill Village, it lets them save money because it's an enclosed space. You don't have to spend as much money on sets either. Like, because it is, they can just go, oh, yeah, let's make this a small port town, as you said, similar to like some of the ports in Black Flag. I don't know if either of you played that.
Yep,
I played.
And it was like, it reminded me of them.
Okay, I've just had I've been Googling this figure to see how much realistically Game of Thrones didn't have that less a budget per episode comparatively. So it was, according to the German Netflix website, it's 17.27 million per episode for the One Piece, while it was 14.79 million for an episode of Game of Thrones. So realistically, it's not that much more budget-wise.
I mean, 3 million still, you know.
In terms of filmmaking, it's not that much money.
I also think that they have a lot of struggles with, they had to do a few reshoots. You have actors coming from across the world. Maybe paying for the fee of One Piece could be quite a lot. So Oda basically had like a stipulation was like, this doesn't go ahead unless it has my go ahead. And there was things that Oda was like, that doesn't work. You need to redo that. And I think there's somewhere in Japan where they actually have like a big wall that has Oda's statements about the live action over the years and how they changed. And like around the middle, he's like, it's been very hard, difficulty working with people and stuff like that. And then it goes like, oh, now it's good. Blah, 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 blah. So I'm wondering if like reshoots and stuff made that price go up. But there are some CGI moments that are very good, especially in episode 2, which we'll talk about, which I'm very excited to talk about next time.
Does that bring us to the end of the episode?
Do you want to talk a little bit about the flashback of Luffy as a kid?
I mean, there's not really much to say. I think they did a good job of getting a kid who looked similar to the older Luffy actor. From what I saw, his want to be a pirate made sense. He had nobody looking after him. And he sees this group of individuals who look after each other and are a kind of family. So he's like, I want that. And all of them are like, hey, no, it's not as good a life as you think it is. And he's like, I don't care. Haha.
Do you think he was a good actor, the kid? Kid actors get a bad rep.
Yeah, he's a kid actor. I think he was fine. He's a kid actor. I'm not going to judge his entire performance based on a few snippets.
I'm going to give the kid actor the greatest get out of jail free card. He's playing a brat.
Yeah.
Luffy as a kid is a brat. And that's not too much acting work for a kid. let's be cynical. But he's, you know, realist to me. It feels realistic for the kid's performance. But yeah, like Jordan, it's not fair to judge an entire kid's acting career off like 2. Also, he's a kid. you know.
Like my
Yeah.
view of it is, I refer back to people's reaction of Jake, what's his face from Episode 1 of Star Wars.
Yeah.
He's a kid. Like, yes, there's amazing kid actors, but they're kids. Give them the benefit of the doubt, for God's sake.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because
Definitely.
I think as well, you've got to take into account someone's performance isn't always just them. It's a director's vision. It's a director's direction. Because there were some actors, and I'm now going to draw a blank on the bloody character name, well, the actor's name, but you'll see him in one movie and you'll be like, wow, they're amazing. And then you'll see them in something else and you'll be like, wow, they suck. And sometimes, yes, they've had a bad performance, but you can also see it from directors. For example, I'm going to say another contrarian one. Jon Favreau can't direct musicals. He doesn't have a clue how to direct them, because if you watch the live-action Lion King, it's pretty shit. But then you watch him direct Mandalorian, and he's doing a much stronger and better job. I don't think he translates well as a director to musicals because he doesn't know how to direct film in that style. So the music and and I've listened to a couple of his commentary tracks, and they're like, really, is that what you were going for, or do you not understand why musical works in this medium? But that's a different conversation for some other time.
But no, I think you're right. You could watch 1,000 musicals and still have no idea what you're doing.
One thing I really liked about the flashback scenes is that there is quite a few nods. Not quite a few. There's a couple. There's a couple of nods to Endgame lore that we only found out about last year. Lore that is currently just in theories, in like fan theories.
Such as?
You do have to kind of do it. Hang on. This is a spoiler warning. I will say something like, oh, the spoiler warning is over. Actually, no, this is being edited. Will of G will put a time code on this video when we stop talking about big spoilers. So,
but also, we'll make a big song and dance about it by waving our hands in the air so you can visually see it.
Yeah, because
in case you're hearing impaired.
Woo! Spoilers.
Whenever we meet Shanks for the first time, we see this guy wearing goggles. He's called Lucky Roo. A box falls and Shanks catches it. That is the box for the devil fruit that Luffy eats. Shanks says that this is more valuable than anything we have, essentially. That is a nod because we find out way down the line this devil fruit is very, very important to the world government. And they actually stole it from the world government. So so it's a big nod to something that we only found out last year. And then the other thing was when Luffy is like annoyed at Shanks and he's kicking his treasure, there's all like that ambience, and it kind of sounds like the devil fruit is calling out to Luffy. There are theories that people think that devil fruits like are slightly conscious and like can like hoax people in to eat them and stuff, and like so there are theories like that that's not confirmed, but people have been talking about it, and I thought it was really nice, and I was like, oh, as a fan who knows everything that's up to date, it was like, I see that, I see what they did there. Whilst to anybody it could be like, that's just a devil fruit, that's why it's important, because devil fruits are really, really rare. Even though we meet loads of people with devil fruits.
Yeah, I have heard that.
Yeah, I do think the demon fruits are a bit...
Devil fruits.
The demon fruits are a bit common, aren't they?
They're common in the sense of like the sense of scale of the world. I think if to draw a comparison to Star Wars, people like to say like why there's so many Jedi still alive, and I'm like, well, there was like tens of thousands of Jedis.
And now there's like 20.
Do you know, like in comparison, yeah, that makes sense. So if you talk about with devil fruits, like you're talking about the whole world, and we're not meeting every single person in the world. We're meeting like the strongest people in the sea as we go along the journey, and those strongest people in the sea most likely will have devil fruit powers. We don't meet every single devil fruit power, and there's actually a point in the story where a scientist actually can manufacture artificial devil fruits, and that person like makes his whole crew eat those fruits. So like in comparison, I can understand, but like not everybody we meet in the world has them. Like we go to towns, we don't go to a whole city where everyone has a devil fruit. No, it's like these people in pirate crews have a devil fruit.
Can I make an assumption based on the devil fruit then?
Demon
I
fruit.
presume, not knowing that Luffy ate the fruit and is now stretchy, that they give different powers.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah. Yes. So
Based
you
on
will
how
see-
you were talking about it.
Yep, that's fair. That is fair. That's fair enough. Yes. So you there's only one of each fruit.
Mhm.
You only need to have a bite of a devil fruit in order to get the powers. You don't need to eat the whole thing.
God damn,
though Luffy-
he ate the whole
even-
thing. He could have
That's
shared
'cause
that.
he's-
So I've got the
Well-
question. Oh, I was going to ask. So for my understanding, so if Luffy say didn't eat it all, and then Shanks had a bite and his crew had a bite, would they all be stretchy, or would it just be the last person or first person, depending on how the fruit wants to work?
It is the first person who eats the fruit, and if you just leave the fruit, like if you just take a bite and then leave it, then it decays very quickly. If someone was to take a bite at the same time, it'd be the first person who swallows it. And then I think if someone swallows it, it's the first person who digests it. I think that's how it goes.
But what if they digest it at the same time? Is it the first one to poop it out?
I don't know. Ask God Oda. He'll probably have an answer for you.
I will. I'll
um,
meet him for a round of golf later.
so there's only one person who has the gum fruit powers.
Mhm.
There are people like that will have similar powers. So we've met someone who had like the kilo fruit, so they could change their weight in kilograms.
Oh, for fuck's sake, I've only just got that. Jesus fucking Christ. The
What do you mean you just got the?
I didn't like, not the gum. The gum I presumed it's like his skin goes like a chewed piece of gum. But like the kilo, I wasn't sure. I don't know why it took my brain so long to register that. And when you went, he can change his weight, the kilo power, I was like, yeah. Oh, for
But you have somebody who has the same type of power, but it's the ton fruit. So they change their body weight in tons. So it's kind of a bit more of a powerful devil fruit. Does the same thing, but in bigger terms.
But in theory, couldn't you just go like, I
Yes.
don't know the conversion between tons to kilograms. So couldn't you just go
right?
the equivalency in kilograms to equivalents?
Yes.
This seems a bit superfluous, doesn't it?
It does. You shouldn't have even mentioned that, because now me and George are going, well, that's ridiculous.
That just
change a
unbelievable. Don't believe this world anymore. Killed it.
All enjoyment gone. Also, I did
okay.
notice something at the very start of the episode when he's in his boat. It's leaking water, and he refuses to touch it. And I'm going to make an assumption based on a theory I have of that.
Okay.
He can't touch seawater.
Shut up.
Do you want an answer?
No, shut up. I'm saying shut up.
You'll-
You're going to ruin
you'll-
the show
you'll
for
find-
him. Shut up. Shut
The answer. No, wait. Shut up.
Shut up.
The answer will be
answer-
revealed in this series.
Yes.
Next episode, it gets revealed.
In
The
2.
answer. Episode 2, that answer will.
Oh,
be presented
shit.
to you.
What up?
What up, boys?
So,
Anyway, hang on. End of spoilers, by the way. We've kind of not done the visual.
I like that. We'll keep that.
Yeah.
So yeah, so there you go. There's a character that you need to kind of remember, from the flashback, and it's the guy called Yasop. Got a big headband that says Yasop on it. So, he's slightly important in episode 3, but that's all.
I'll try my best.
But I'll make it.
I might
clear when we
I might
talk
watch
about
it later tonight then. I might watch a couple episodes tonight.
You should. You should watch all
No,
of them.
no, just watch the one. I'm really liking. What I really wanted was to get your theories of what you thought was going to happen.
Oh, okay. I'll just watch the one then. I'll watch episode 2
Yeah.
and then when we next record, which I don't know when, but I hope you're ready and waiting.
Any final thoughts? Anything we have not talked about that you want to mention? Now is your time.
Who the fuck is that clown looking ass?
I forgot about that bit. Yes, Captain Boogie. Love him. Sorry, that was a bit much.
I deliberately didn't bring him up because that will be episode 2's conversation.
Episode 2 conversation, but Captain Buggy is a character that the fans love. Him and another person that we meet in episode 3 is a character that people love, and he is the strongest pirate on all the seas and will become the next king of the pirates.
Wait, don't you have to get the One Piece to become the king of the pirates?
Well, nobody's got it yet, but he will become the king of the pirates.
So he gets the One Piece?
He is none other than Captain Buggy, the best pirate in all the seas. The strongest pirate in all the seas.
It's funny. I only know that I was expecting a clown at the end of episode 1 because someone, not naming names, the Will of G, might have put a post on social media about it. On their personal social media.
See, this is why you don't check social media like me. Be a loser. Don't use social media.
It's either you. I can't remember. I believe you did. It was that, or I saw it on your YouTube channel.
Probably.
At Will_of_G. Just like, subscribe, and comment.
Help get him to 1,000 subscribers.
And I was like, oh, there's a clown at the end of episode 2, of episode 1.
I do not remember this, but that's okay. Cool.
It seemed like you were very excited about it, or you mentioned it. Something I can't remember. I don't remember the exact context of it, but it was you were very excited.
Yeah, I'm very excited to talk about episode 2. So when we can, let's do it as soon as we can. Okay, we're not going to do ratings. We'll rate the entire series at the very, very end, just for a laugh. But yeah, so far the series is good. Oh, this is a good question. From episode 1, just episode 1. Has One Piece broke the live-action curse?
I'm not sure. I've not watched the others to know, so my opinion doesn't matter.
Yeah, you need more episodes.
It's just episode 1. Just from episode 1, does it break it? Is it on the way to breaking it, or is it on a downhill to not breaking it?
For me, if we're doing it off one episode, which I don't think you should do, I think you judge it as a whole product.
I like to, but we'll talk about our.
Yeah, I know.
I've got a plan.
I think it's starting on the best foot forward, and I think that's the best way to say it. It is on its best footing first.
If the others are as bad as I have been made to believe by the fans, which opinions are shit anyway, and the critics whose opinions are shit anyway, One Piece live action, as George mentioned, is a step in the right direction and is a good first start for what could be, depending on how it goes, the first breaking of the curse. But we shall see.
We shall see indeed. Cool. Thank you guys so much for checking in with us. Thank you guys so much for listening and for watching our beautiful faces.
And
for the first time. I'm waiting. Yeah, it's been a long one, but hopefully you guys will engage with us. Please share this to all your friends and family. Let us know that we are here. If you're on YouTube, please like, comment, and subscribe. Let us know your thoughts on episode 1. Any facts we got wrong, let us know. Let us know your thoughts. Do you think this is a good episode? Do you like the show? What do you not like? What did you like? And also, if you guys haven't heard already, I started a YouTube called The Will of G.
You
so
have?
Please, I have. Yeah, apparently. Yeah.
Have you? What is that YouTube channel? And what should they do over there?
YouTube is called The Will of G. I do a reaction to a lot of One Piece content at the moment. So please go over, come watch the videos, come watch my journey reacting to this show. I also react to the anime, I also react to the chapters. Please like, comment, engage with me there, subscribe, help a dude out. But if you haven't, it's never been mentioned before.
Yeah, but if you also have a Twitch, what should they also do?
Oh, you should also come, like, my Twitch was also at Will_of_G, but I'm never on it anyway, so it's all right.
I thought you were. I'm sorry.
Do you ever do gaming videos?
I will be. I'll start. I'm starting.
Yeah, see, I'm trying to get you pre-engagement. See, I'm just that good.
That's how much we want you to succeed.
I need these guys to do my publicity. So bad at it.
We don't really do social media, so
no, we are
useless.
Yeah. As
Okay.
someone who is under like 2 foot tall, I can't do anything.
Hey, thank you guys so much for listening again, and we'll catch you all next time. Goodbye. I feel like a gooch.